Hi everyone, travel addict guy here, and I want to talk about something that's very, very important right now is going on in Spain, and there are a lot of performers, especially flamenco performers and musicians, and they are out of work, and they're not able to work because of this crisis. So I have one with me today, and I'm going to sit down and talk to him. And could you please introduce yourself and tell us about what you do, sir?
Hello, I'll speak in English. My name is Shane Gonzalez, artistically known as El Indio, since I was 18 years old. I'm from the United States, but I've lived in Spain for 20 years, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. I've taught gypsies, I've taught kids in Tres Viviendas in Sevilla.
Okay.
And
so can I ask, is your family, are your families are gypsies or?
No, my families are Native American Indians and Mexican.
Okay. Well, let me ask you, that's not a bad word to say, gypsy, is it? Or?
No, gypsy's not a bad word. It's actually the word in English that you have to use.
Right.
Here they say gitanos.
Yeah, it's gitano. I know that because I ran into that before, and then some people they said there's another word they said to use, a Roma or something, a Roma.
The other word is Romani.
Okay.
Un Rom. Rom is gypsy, un men.
Okay. But in Spain, it's a different kind of gypsy here in Spain.
Yeah, well, the gypsy culture in itself has different countries, but basically the nomad and the rules of moving from place to place and living day by day.
Living nomadically.
Is the basics, except for now everyone's a little more set.
Okay, very well. And you said you were born in America or in Spain?
No, I was born in the United States.
In the United States, okay.
And I studied flamenco guitar at the University of Fresno, California, with Master Juan Serrano, who is from Cordoba.
Okay, Juan Serrano from Cordoba. Okay.
From Cordoba. And he was my master, and is still my master and friend for basically the last 7 years. I studied with him in the school, and then we've been friends since then.
Okay. Okay, very good. How long have you been playing as a musician? How long have you been doing this professionally?
I've been doing this professionally now for the last 30 years. I'll be doing it, and this year will be 30 years.
Okay.
I started late. I started at about 17, 18, which normally a flamenco guitarist, pro caliber, normally starts between 8, 9, 10 years old.
Okay.
In the gypsy community, it's normal for their life.
They start that young, 8, 9, or 10.
Yeah. It's kind of like a conservatory, but it's the conservatory of the streets and of the culture.
Okay.
Flamenco guitar. But I had the chance to study with a grandmaster.
Okay.
And he's still alive. And I had the chance to learn his techniques and his books. And I had the blessing of his to teach his techniques and his books, and that's basically what I use. Even though I have 30 years of experience, my own, I use his philosophy and his teachings to further my progress in my students.
And where did flamenco start? Because when I was in Granada, I talked to a man who was a tour guide, and he told me that the flamenco, modern day flamenco, started in Granada in Sacromonte. Is that true? Is that the story?
Well, there's various stories about flamenco.
Okay.
Flamenco is a combination of different cultures: Jewish, Sephardi, Indian, Romani. So really, actually, flamenco started with a mixture of cultures. It migrated over to Andalusia.
Okay.
So flamenco in general started basically in Andalusia, and the gypsies from Granada, from Sevilla.
Okay.
For Granada, people are have a good cultural life there. Flamenco, it's one of the hot spots. But also, having family also from Jerez myself, Jerez is basically the birthplace, they say, of flamenco.
Jerez, okay.
But I have to say that it's
Malaga, very big in Sevilla as well, right?
Yeah, Sevilla is probably one of the most capitals of flamenco.
Yes, I think so,
But Malaga has a very rooted tradition in old flamenco.
I remember they used to have a lot of shows, and they would have them sometimes in front of the Roman theater here, the Teatro Romano. They have like a big show every year, like a big flamenco show, and I remember going down there one time, and there was this woman, I guess she was a master dancer, and a little bit of an older woman, but she was just amazing the way she was dancing.
Yeah, Malaga has a lot of really good artists, really good young artists, and has a really good legacy, which is little by little dying.
It's dying, yeah. That's what I wanted to talk to you about, really, is what is going on with the performers, because I know that they must be suffering right now. They've got to be hurting, and I'm sure that you are too. So please let us know about what is going on with the flamenco. Are you able to perform? Are you able to make money? How is that going?
Well, I have been out of work for about a year now.
A year,
since
wow.
the pandemic started.
Right, got it.
And apart from playing flamenco, I played with a ballet pop singer to try to balance things out.
Okay.
And when the pandemic, the virus started, we got stopped.
Okay.
So for a lot of flamenco artists, since normally we're not given good contracts,
got it.
and a lot of us, even though they don't want to admit, we ask to be paid in black because we don't even make it to.
Oh, you mean like under the table?
Under the table.
Okay,
sorry, under
got
the
it.
table.
Yeah, no worries.
And we actually don't even.
Here they call it negro, right?
Yeah, negro. Here it's called it negro.
So they want to be paid like, so they don't have to pay the tax man, basically, right?
To pay the tax man, but also it's not so much them or us.
Yeah.
It's a lot of the businesses.
The businesses don't want to pay.
Because they don't want to. A lot of the contracts that are given have been for. They've asked the guitarists or singers or quadra to play, and they've been given a contract of being waived.
Well, let's not out too many people here what's going on. But
Yeah,
let's just say, so basically you're not paying into the government where you're not able to receive any kind of benefits or taxes in a situation like this.
No, I formed one of the first cultural centers in flamenco here.
Okay.
And during that time, we were very successful. We were a model for a lot of the other new schools and centers that opened up here, and including some of the places that started to promote flamenco.
Okay, so you were actually teaching people flamenco music.
I was teaching flamenco. I was teaching percussion. I'm a percussion player also.
Okay.
I teach palmas, and I teach solo guitars.
Okay.
And I teach
awesome.
composition.
Yeah.
And now I'm getting back into producing.
Okay.
In my house, but with no funding. I have no funding. The only artists that are actually playing right now are the ones that are known, and the ones that are gonna be sure to bring in money.
Yeah.
So the ones that are a little bit more on the lower scale, we've had to fight.
Okay.
There's a new union that's forming in flamenco.
Okay, a union is forming, a flamenco union. Okay.
Yes, for all the major artists. The problem is that they're asking us to stand up for our rights.
Right.
The problem is if we stand up for our rights, then we don't get any job.
got
And
it.
then another company can come in, or another artist, and they'll undertake your work because they accept lesser pay.
Okay, got it.
So-
And there's another question I wanted to ask you about. I know there used to be a lot of artists here, especially in Malaga. When the times were good, you had a lot of tourists.
Yes.
People could go out on the street and they could perform, and now I don't see hardly any of that. And that's, what is the reason for that?
Well, to play on the street here in Malaga, you need a license.
Okay.
And that's very hard to get also here in
Okay,
Malaga. And
right.
it's money, and if you're on the streets playing, sometimes
So
they
you
give
need a
loan.
license to play on the street. Okay.
Yes, you need a license, a legal license from the
Ah,
Ayuntamiento
okay, I didn't know
to
that.
play on the street.
That's
And
always been like that.
I think it was a few years ago they started implementing it.
Okay, because I used to see a lot of performers, and I'm sure a lot of them don't have a license. They come and go, as you know, they come through different cities and
Yeah,
they play.
they risk it because the police can come by, they'll fine you, and then they could take your instrument.
Oh, they can take your instrument even. Wow,
So,
so that would be the worst thing could happen for a musician, obviously.
Exactly. So that's why a lot of musicians also have stopped playing on the street. Apart from the virus and the pandemic,
Okay.
because you know when you start playing.
Yeah, I thought it had something more to do
crowds.
with that. That's what I was going to ask you about, because I know the rules are really strict right now, and I thought maybe that had to do with it because they're not allowed to sing. Some people have told me that in the street anymore because of the rules for the crisis or the virus.
The crisis and the virus is maybe one of the problems here, but
Okay.
the other problem is that here they don't give you, whether it's here in Malaga, Afectado, or the coast, they don't give you a lot of options. And unfortunately, if you're self-paid or freelance or autonomo, like they call it here,
Okay.
we pay a lot more taxes than most people.
Got it.
If we're self-paid and self-working.
Okay.
So it's difficult. The artists that do have license are still playing when they can,
Okay.
but there's a lot of new rules for the pandemic and you
Got
can't
it.
really go out.
You can't really play.
So
Do you have to wear a mask when you play?
normally, yeah, and a lot of the pictures I've seen from other artists, everyone's wearing a mask.
Got it.
So, and I don't know if it's. I think it's important, but I don't know with the way things are going. There's so much information here. I don't know how it's
Right.
You know,
Got
it's
it.
difficult to breathe sometimes when we have.
Yeah,
the
I
mask.
know. It's difficult to read with a mask on. Oh God, I mean, I can't even go into a grocery store and I gotta have this whole thing over my face,
Of
and it's
course.
like to play music. And I know you get hot, you sweat when you're playing flamenco. You get a lot of movement, and
Yes,
it
yes,
just seems crazy to me. Wow.
yes, yes.
Okay, so I was in Sevilla, Shane, about a month and a half ago, and I was actually in the Plaza Espana, and they actually had some performers there performing flamenco music, and they weren't wearing a mask or anything.
Uh-huh.
And I know before that was a very big spot where they would get a lot of money, a lot of tips from people, and there were a few people, like I gave some tips, and a few other people that gave tips, but I mean, it was nothing like they would normally make there.
No.
But I was kind of surprised that they were actually performing and none of them had masks or anything like that, and there didn't seem to be anyone bothering them. In Sevilla, like Malaga, I'm sure that the police here would be bothering them.
Yeah, Sevilla's, unfortunately, Sevilla's a little bit more open, and the artists probably take more of a risk there because
Yeah.
flamenco is, like I said, flamenco is a big hot spot in Sevilla,
Right?
as well as Granada and Jerez.
Okay.
So Malaga, we're trying to push Malaga into that zone also because Malaga has a rich history, but unfortunately it's not, it doesn't go like that right now. So,
Okay. Well, I think people should have a right to perform and to make a living. I mean, that's my thoughts on it. And if they want to risk it, that's up to them. I mean, the people watching were wearing a mask, so if you want to go ahead and risk that, or we can watch from a distance. I mean, they kind of work together anyway. I mean, these dancers were really, really good. I saw some great dancers in Sevilla. I think they were really amazing, and even in the plaza there, they were
Right.
just so good. Some of these young people were.
No,
really
they're exceptional because
Yeah.
they're basically in Sevilla. They really take care of flamenco there.
Okay.
But they're taking a risk. We're
Yeah.
always taking a risk whenever we play outside of what the law asks us to do
Got it.
or the law is supposed to permit us. And
Okay.
when you don't have any money coming in, I mean, I've lived in the past few months with just 80 euros.
Wow. Yeah.
And I have
Yeah, that's
rent,
tough.
and I'm lucky I have some friends who have
Yeah.
helped me, and
Okay.
and I used to, for example, here in Shakespeare, I used to play in open mic here a lot. I'm
Okay.
composing with the owner.
That's
here.
where we are right now, guys. We're in this bar in Malaga. It's pretty nice bar. It's been here quite a while. It's called the Shakespeare.
It's the best.
And yeah, it's a
Yes.
great little bar, and they have like open mic, and they also have
Well,
different.
they
used to have it. Let's say that, yeah.
And because of the quantity of people, and they had to stop it. And this is where I do a lot of my own recordings here. I record with the owner here, also who's an incredible musician.
Okay.
And this was where I was planning to release and do one of my opening concerts before the pandemic.
Okay.
I was getting ready for my concert to perform it because I've been performing here probably for the last 5 years on open mics on Wednesdays and Fridays.
Got
and
it.
when the virus came, unfortunately we had to stop everything. So, and we really don't know if it's gonna get back.
So let me ask you one thing. Last thing about the performers. Have a lot of them left town? They've had to leave town, or some had even had to go back to their countries, because I know some have come from other countries even to perform, right?
Well, I don't know how much have left town, but I know a lot of them have decided just to hang it up.
Just to hang it out. Wow,
Because
that's a shame.
Yeah,
Wow.
I mean, even that has went through my mind because after living 30 years and with the musician, their life, with the flamenco guitarists in general, or musicians in general, our life is always up and down.
Yeah.
But when we do well, everything's okay. But this
So
time,
it's a struggle, guys. So if you see these musicians playing, I've talked about that before, and especially if you're here on vacation in the future, and you see these guys playing in the street, and you stop and you enjoy the music, make sure to slip them something, a couple euros, maybe a 5. If you're on vacation, you enjoyed it, maybe even 10 euros, because think about it, if you had to go to a show, it would have cost you that or more. And I see a lot of tourists sometimes, well, I'm not going to say all of them, but some will stop and actually watch your show, take pictures, and don't leave any tip. So to me, it's just, you see, these are the kind of guys, and you need to help them out. You know, you just need to help. If you enjoy the show, think of it like this: you're just paying for the performance.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And what I'm doing now is, well, I'm producing my digital disc CD because everyone's working on internet now.
Okay.
I've
Yeah.
been
Let's
doing
talk
that.
about that. You create your own music, right? You're
Yes, I
Original
compose,
music, wow.
My own music. I composed. I've done different shows. I've done Flamenco de Ley, Shanatico. I've
Okay.
done Guitarras en Cristo.
nice.
And now I'm working And some of these shows you can find on DVD. I have a DVD, and I'm working on putting some of the DVD stuff out now.
Okay. Where can they find this stuff? Is there? You have a website? You have Spotify? Where do they find this?
I have right now. I have on Instagram.
Instagram.
On
Okay.
Shane Indio.
Shane Indio.
You
Okay.
can find me on Instagram. You can.
Is there a space in that or?
No, Shane Indio.
Shane Indio. Okay, so let's spell that. ShaneIndio, right?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, and I'm going to include the link to that and here. That's what you have right now, the Instagram.
That's
okay?
where I have my new compositions that I'm working on.
Okay.
I've been working on an album for the last year now.
Okay.
I also had a project that I was going to do with Cafechenitas that I was working on, but again, going back to signing a contract. The problem was is that my artists weren't going to get enough, and I wasn't actually going to make what I thought I was going to make.
Okay.
So I had to turn the contract down.
Got it.
And
that's too bad.
And then right when I turned the contract down, COVID came, the pandemic came. So it was a good thing because the fine print said if I didn't complete, I would have to pay the establishment.
Wow. Yeah.
So now I decided to, after a year, I've been recording in my house. Thank God for my landlord, he's very patient. And,
right. That's great.
And the album is called P51.
P51, okay.
There's a reason for that, but
are you going to be selling this online somewhere in the future, or you don't know?
I'm hoping to get 3 videos. I'm hoping to get one of the songs, Mi Alma.
Okay.
It should be out within the next 2 weeks.
Mi Alma, which means my soul.
My soul, which will be on my YouTube canal. I have a YouTube.
You have a YouTube channel too. Why don't you mention that?
It's called Shane Gonzalez.
Shane Gonzalez.
El Indio.
El Indio, okay.
And right now, I have
we'll try to include a link to that too in the description, guys, so you can check that out.
And right now, I just have a few videos out because, like I said, I'm self-made right now.
Got it.
I'm doing my own, trying to do my own promotions, and so I'm working on the P51, and that has P51 was actually the precursor to the Cafechenitas.
Okay.
And when that didn't go through, so I had to rechange all the compositions to being guitar pieces. Then I'll be taking out another song which will be coming out soon with called Lágrimas, Camino de Lágrimas, which is Trail of Tears, which is a dedication to my culture, American Indian culture.
Got it.
And
you're American Indian as well?
Yes, I'm part Cherokee.
Okay,
so,
nice.
And that song, Mi Alma and Camino de Lágrimas has orchestration with strings, symphony and stuff that I've done.
Well, how about can you play a little bit for us for my audience, and we can listen?
Sure.
And I want to just ask you for the camera that we can have your permission to use this in the video, the music.
Yes, you're going to have the permission, and I'll also say that I do give classes online.
He also gives classes online. Okay, how can he contact you? How can they contact you, through the Instagram?
Through the Instagram,
okay.
Or they can contact me through the Facebook also, Shane Gonzalez.
Facebook too. Okay, well, I'll get all those links from you. We'll include them in the video. So,
perfect.
I'm going to go ahead and listen to some great music here, guys. Andalusia, south of Spain, live flamenco. Take it away.
It's shaky.
Very nice music. That one's called, what is the name of that song?
Actually, it's a portfolio, but it doesn't really have a name right now. It's still
Okay, you're still
in
working
process.
on that.
Yeah, still in process. But you can see clips of it on my Instagram and.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. So.
Okay, well, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you for that interview.
Thank you, Kerry. Thank
and
you.
I
very
wish
much.
you the best of luck and support these guys, and I hope you support him. And if you're looking for some lessons or some information about music, or you want to support this guy, I hope you will check his pages out. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to share that with my audience. It'll be in the description. So we'll see you in the next video, guys.
And
Travel.
Don't forget Shakespeare.
The Shakespeare as well. This fabulous bar. And we have my friend here. He's the owner of the Shakespeare. So if you come to Malaga, check this place out. A great place here in Malaga. So we'll see you in the next video, guys. Travel Addict Guy. Take care, everyone.